Hey, I'm Cameron, welcome to Woodlands TV. I'm going to show you how I build the perfect wildlife photography hide. So you've got your camera, your phone, your binoculars, and you're ready to head out into the wilderness. Why are we going to build a hide? Well, a hide is going to conceal us. It's going to make sure that we get the best possible opportunity to see deer or squirrels or owls or rabbits, anything that's wanting to move around our woodlands without fear. We could have the best hide in the world, but it would be useless if it wasn't in the right location.
Here we go. What's great
about this spot is just how sunk into the ground it is. There's a big fallen tree here. It's going to act as sort of the base of my shelter. Cargo net, poles. We're going to get some dead wood in a minute to build up around the outside, and I'll probably end up covering it with some ferns and grasses as well, just to bed it into the natural environment. Now, the important thing to remember is you've got to be able to get in and out of this easily and accessibly. So don't block yourself in like I've just done. So there is your basic hide. I want to get some nice natural resources here. Firstly, to blocking the line of sight of me, but also to provide a nice sort of stop for my camera whilst I'm shooting off into the field down here. I've got my cargo net and my poles, as I said, but I think I need something that's going to make it a little bit more natural looking and to sort of sink it into the environment. So let's collect some dead wood. You can use big bits of wood like this to use instead of poles, but I just find it a little bit easier to use the metal ones. I'm going to hide them in a minute anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, I personally think this is looking pretty good, but I think we need to cover it now with some more natural resources just to blend it in. Then we get some ferns. We're just going to gather up some of these ferns that are on the ground here. Just a tip if you're going to be playing with ferns and using some of these, are great for concealment, but it's really important you never rip them or you'll end up cutting your hand. It's really important that you grab and you break.
What I'm doing here is making sure the front of the shelter looks like it's part of the surrounding landscape. So I'm packing it in with ferns and making a nice little hidden spot that I can sink in behind and breaking up my silhouette.
I'm just going to do a little bit more to hide this top bit and then we'll be done.
Weave in ferns or grasses to make it look as if your shelter is part of the undergrowth.
We've got great sight lines out, down through the trees here, a nice open clearing. If you look along the wall and the field beyond it, there's actually a low breaking point in the wall, and I know for a fact, because I spend a lot of time up here, that the deer, when they've been grazing in the field at night, often come back in through that low break in the wall and kind of spend some time in and around this open area, and that's where I'm looking to capture them when I go out and photograph. It's just all about thinking about the environment that the animals are in, how they're going to be using it, how they're going to be moving through it, and how you can best build your hide to capture that. I'm also downwind of where they're going to be on the prevailing wind, so mostly they're probably not going to smell me, which is really good and really important to think about with wild animals. I think that's us just about finished with the hide now. It's a big pile of ferns tucked into this kind of wet little hollow of dead clumpy wood, and that's really what this whole environment looks like. All these dead trees, wet, you know, ferns growing in big sort of clumps. That's what we want, and that's what it's going to look in place. All these are doing is fooling the animals into thinking that there's nothing amiss. Here we are inside the den. I've got my camera set up here, looking down the sight lines. The benefit of building it like this as well is it's really easy to switch around which direction you're looking at. For me, I've got this whole range of motion that I can cover through, and I'm totally hidden. So, great spot, comfy little space, sorted.
Later that night I headed down to another hide I've got just on the field edge beyond where I built that hide there, and saw this beautiful trio of fallow deer grazing in the grass.
If you build a hide, best of luck. Please send us in any photos or videos of woodland creatures you've got roaming about your woodland, because that would be amazing for us to see, and we'd love to know that you're putting these hides to good use.
All the best. Thanks.